Hi y'all! Welcome back to another week's What's for Dinner. I hope y'all are enjoying these meal inspiration videos. Don't forget, you can always send me any recipes you'd like to see. I put out a What's for Dinner video every Monday, so if you're new here, go and hit that subscribe button. I'd love for you to be a part of my YouTube family. So, let's get started. This first recipe is creamy poblano chicken enchiladas. First, I am just going to place 2 poblano peppers on a baking sheet, and I'm going to broil them in my Omni Plus for 10 to 15 minutes. You can do the same thing in your oven or on your stove, whatever is easiest for you. Your time will vary. I would say check them after 5 minutes and flip them. You're gonna just roast them up and blister the skins. Then, to my Instant Pot, I am adding 4 cups of water and 3 frozen chicken breasts. I'm just throwing some basic seasonings in there like garlic powder, salt, and pepper. You can also use chicken broth instead of water. And you can also use any other variation of chicken, including rotisserie chicken, but I didn't have any. So just go ahead and place your lid on and hit your pressure cook or manual button and cook for 13 minutes on high. When the time is up, just go ahead and let your chicken naturally release pressure for about 10 minutes. Once your chilies are done, just go ahead and place those in a bowl with cling wrap or a lid and let them rest. The steam will make it easy for you to peel the skins off. While those rest, I'm gonna go ahead and start on my sauce. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of butter to my pan on medium heat. And then I'm going to add in 3 cloves of minced garlic in that butter and cook it for about a minute. Then I'm going to add in half a cup of flour and whisk that as well for about a minute. At this point, raise your heat to medium-high. And then to that mixture, I am adding 1 cup of chicken broth. And then you will see that I added an additional half a cup of broth because I felt that the sauce was too thick. In the end, the consistency worked out to my liking. You are going to whisk the sauce constantly for about a minute and then reduce your heat back to medium and simmer for a couple more minutes. Then I added half a cup of heavy cream and I continued to simmer that for a couple more minutes. I ran my whisk through it a couple times just to check the consistency. You can add 1 cup of whole milk instead of the heavy cream if that's what you prefer. Here I am just cleaning my chilies by pulling out the stem to remove a majority of the seeds. Then I'm going to peel the skins off of them and I'm going to cut them open and go rinse them off with water. Rinsing them will remove the remainder of the seeds.
Running by the roadside, wait up for me, I'd go anywhere that you do. Put it all out in the open, no we don't have to control it. Put it all out in the open. If it's only for a moment, it's a lifetime of emotion. Put it all out in the open.
I ended up cutting my chilies, but there was no need because I decided to blend them up. So here I'm just using my immersion blender, so I added my chilies to a bowl, but you can also blend them in your blender. Then I'm just adding this blended chili to the sauce and I'm gonna whisk it in. Now I'm adding in around a half a cup of chopped cilantro and giving that a quick mix. And then I'm going to mix in the juice from half of a lime. Now go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 degrees while you assemble your enchiladas. I'm starting off by adding a thin layer of the sauce to the bottom of my 9x13 baking dish. While I did this, I had my boyfriend off camera shredding up that chicken. You can shred it with 2 forks or stick it in your mixer or blender for a few seconds on pulse and it will shred up the chicken. To assemble these, I am using 6 flour tortillas. Corn tortillas would work just as good for this, and you would need around 12 of them. I'm just placing some of the chicken into the tortilla and rolling them up. Then just arrange them in your baking dish. I didn't heat my tortillas first and I didn't have any problems. If you have any problems with the tortillas cracking, just go ahead and warm those tortillas. If you're using corn tortillas, you probably do want to warm them up because they will crack. Then just go ahead and evenly spread out your creamy poblano sauce on top of your enchiladas.
I don't wanna waste time. Well, remember tonight I found something here with you. Running by the roadside, wait up for me. I'd go anywhere that you do. Put it all out in the open. No, we don't have to control it. Put it all out in the open.
Now I'm just placing about 8 ounces of shredded pepper jack cheese on top, and then I'm going to bake them for about 15 to 20 minutes uncovered. And I believe the last couple minutes of this I put it on broil because I like my cheese to be nice and browned and bubbly on top. Here's what it looks like all finished and out of the oven, nice and cheesy and bubbly. And I'm just using some of this royal cilantro lime basmati rice to go with it on the side. We absolutely loved this dinner. That sauce is so creamy and so flavorful with those roasted poblano peppers. Definitely you have to try that. On this night for dinner, I wanted something simple and I had some little Smokies I wanted to use up. I'm starting off with a can of crescent rolls I laid out. Okay, Aldi, what's up with your inconsistencies in the size of these? I guess it still works out for this because I'm going to cut them into some smaller strips anyways. So let's just go ahead and do that by cutting them into 3 strips per piece or just into 2 for some of the smaller pieces. I'm just going to be using these beef little Smokies and wrap the crescent roll around them. Apparently I lost the footage to that, so you're going to roll in the same way you would a crescent roll and start with the larger side of it first and then just wrap the rest of the crescent roll around it. Then I'm just making an egg wash by using 1 egg and a tablespoon of water, and I'm going to whisk that together, and then I'm going to go ahead and just brush that onto each of these. Now I'm just going to be sprinkling some of this Trader Joe's everything but the bagel seasoning on top of these, just to add a little extra flavor. I thought a box of mac and cheese would go well with this, so right now I'm just also boiling the water for that. I preheated my Omni Plus to 350 degrees and I'm baking these for 8 minutes. If you're using a regular oven, then bake them for 10 to 12 minutes at 375 degrees. While those cook up, I'm just throwing together a side salad with some baby kale, some romaine lettuce, and lots of cherry tomatoes since I had a lot that needed to get used up. Then I'm just gonna make some blue box mac and cheese.
Wait up for me, I'd go anywhere that you do. Put it all out in the open. No, we don't have to control it. Put it all out in the open. If it's only for a moment, it's a lifetime of emotion. Put it all out in the open. Don't tell me it's time to go. And the fear leaves me blind. You always will lead me through. If you need me at the wrong time, throw it all out by the wayside.
My inner kid was so happy about this meal. Seriously, I love me some Blue Box mac and cheese. With a meal as easy as this, you can't go wrong. On this night for dinner, we're basically having a ground beef version of shepherd's pie. It's not exact, but it's something you can throw together very easily and use up some of the vegetables that you have in your house that maybe you need to use up. If you're looking for an authentic version of shepherd's pie, this is definitely not it. This is something that you can easily throw together. You do not need to have minced lamb, and I'm using just instant mashed potatoes. It's something that when you want to make a quick dinner for your family, you can go ahead and do that. So here I'm just using instant mashed potatoes, and I'm going to boil the water and add my salt and butter just according to my package directions. If you would like to make like homemade mashed potatoes, go ahead and feel free to do that. I went ahead and heated my pan to a high heat, and I've just gone ahead and added 1 pound of ground beef to my pan, and I'm using my meat chopping tool to just go ahead and break that up. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and let that brown. Now I am just adding some red onion to the ground beef. Normally I would use yellow onion for this, but the purpose of making this recipe was to use up some of the things from my fridge and pantry. So I'm just gonna let those onions cook down while the meat finishes cooking. Next I am adding 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce to the meat, as well as around a teaspoon of beef-based Better Than bouillon, and I'm gonna go ahead and just mix that into the liquid in the pan. Then I'm just seasoning that with some garlic salt and cracked black pepper. This is the point where you can add in any vegetables that you need to use up. If you have fresh vegetables, just go ahead and saute them first so they're not hard when they go in the oven, because they won't cook quick enough. I'm just going to be using up some mixed vegetables, corn, and green beans that I have. If you're using frozen vegetables, just go ahead and let those thaw first. I've also added beef gravy to this mixture before, and it came out really good. So if you're looking for another variation, go ahead and give that a try. Next, just go ahead and dump all of that mixture into the bottom of your casserole dish. I'm using a 9x13 pan here. Go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and then just go ahead and spread out that mixture on the bottom of your baking pan here, just evenly across. Then I'm just going to go ahead and drop the mashed potatoes by the spoonful across the top of the meat mixture. Then I'm going to go ahead and spread that out. My spoon started sticking and it wasn't working very great, so I went ahead and got a rubber spatula, and it worked a little bit better. I have an insane amount of cubed cheddar cheese that I need to use up. Like, I'm talking like 15 pounds of it, so I went ahead and put some of it in my blender to make it fine, and I'm just dropping that on top of the casserole here. Then go ahead and place that in your oven and bake it for 30 minutes. While that was baking, I went ahead and cut up some romaine lettuce and some spring mix, and then some Roma tomato just to make a side salad for this. If you're looking for a quick and filling meal to feed your family, you can't go wrong with this recipe. Thanks for watching another week's What's for Dinner. If you have any suggestions, don't forget to leave them in the comments down below.